Pretend you like me to get taken out on expensive dates. I'll trick you into paying. So this one might be a bit tame for this subreddit. But hopefully you guys still get a kick out of it. I am new to the subreddit and just Reddit in general, so I'd love to hear your feedback. Also gonna be a long one, so hold on to your butts. For context, my family is in a very fortunate position financially, and I would describe myself as upper middle class. This story happened a few years ago when I was at university. It was a fairly small university, so many of the students lived locally, in a generally very working class area. I also have a twin brother who goes to a different university nearby, who has a small part to play in this story. I had never really had much luck with dating due to having some pretty niche hobbies and interests, so it was hard to find people I can relate to and really click with, but I would always get on, and remain friends with people if things didn't work out. I ended up dating a few girls on the university netball team. They all seemed nice, but again, it was clear we were not a great match. Because I stayed on good terms with everyone, I ended up spending a lot of time around the people I had previously dated, but just as friends. Consequently, most people on the netball team were familiar with me. Enter the greedy girl, Gigi. She was a bit of an outlier in the team and didn't speak much, so nobody knew much about her. One day, she comes up to me and asks me out on a date. This was a nice surprise as I was normally the one asking, so I said yes, as I had no reason to dislike her at this point. After I say yes, we chat for a bit and she keeps trying to shoehorn into conversation the fact that she, like many others around here, doesn't have a lot of money. I didn't really think about it too much at the time, but in hindsight it was obvious. To keep the story short, I won't explain the dates. We went on 3 before I realized how greedy she was. All you guys need to know is that I paid for everything on every date. But I didn't mind doing this. We normally went out on weekends. One day I went to the library to get some work done. The desks have tall partitions between them for independent work. But whispering was still allowed in this area. Over the partition in front of me I hear Gigi's voice whispering to a friend. I begin to stand up to say hi, but stop myself to listen to their conversation just before my head emerged over the top. She was talking about me, calling me things like a posh cunt, but saying she was going to let me take her on a few more dates because I took her to fancy bars and bought her expensive drinks. I thought about it and realized that she had always gone for the most expensive drinks on our dates so far, so I decided it was time for some revenge. I left the library without being seen. A few days later I actually saw her driving a brand new BMW Z4, so she was clearly pretty dang rich herself. The best and fanciest bar in this town was owned by my best friend and her family. It was a small bar, but very high-end, with some of the drinks being over £15 for a very small drink. Therefore, not many of the students went in, but if you were invited there on a date, it was a special one. I spoke to my friend, whose family owned the bar, and got her in on my plan for revenge, ensuring she would have my back if things went wrong. I was pretty paranoid about getting caught, because I planned on tricking Gigi into paying for everything that night, up to a total of the cost of all the previous dates combined, in excess of £250. To cover my tracks, I asked my twin brother if he wanted to go out with my friends to the pub, telling him my plan and that I would give him some money if he went out dressed like me and with his hair styled the same. I also told him to take plenty of pictures with my friends so I had an alibi. The night of the date came around, the bar was busy but we managed to get a table. I immediately lied to her, saying I had forgotten my card, but if she paid, I could transfer her the money later. She agreed. I had done this for real on the second date, and paid her back as soon as I got home. So she knew I was reliable. I told her to stay sat down and save the table, while I went and ordered drinks and the biggest and fanciest tapas plate on the menu from the bar. My friend, pretending she didn't know me, as agreed, served me the drinks. Gigi seemed to be in disbelief of my generosity and pretended that she was having one of the best dates of her life. I also pretended to be enjoying it, continuing to buy expensive food and drink until I had nearly spent the target £250 on her card. The dessert section of the bar's menu is titled Just Desserts. Finding this oddly appropriate for my revenge, I asked her if she wanted her just desserts, pointing at the menu. She laughed and said yes, so I went up to the bar once again with her card, and ordered 2 of the super deluxe chocolate fudge cakes. I told my friend to keep one for herself for when her shift ends. and if they could write "Duck You" on top of GG's. The bar has candles with letters on for birthdays etc. I then returned to GG, handed her card back, and told her I was going to the gents' bathroom. I left, never repaid the money, and went to join my mates and brother at the pub. GG confronted me in front of the netball team a few days later, but I just acted confused, telling her I was out with my friends that night, and showed her the selfies my brother had taken with my mates when she tried to argue with me. The entire netball team took my side and stopped speaking to her. Gigi has since left the netball team, and from what I can tell I don't think she has many friends now. I had a fantastic night of revenge with fine food and drink at her expense. My friend got a fudge cake, my brother got some money, and all the lads got to go to the pub. All in all, I found it super satisfying, as everyone but Gigi was happy. Hope you enjoyed, guys. And sorry it was a long one. Edit, thanks for the feedback, guys. To answer a few questions, my Reddit account is over a year old, but in that time, I have used it very infrequently, so am therefore largely unfamiliar with Reddit. Secondly, my twin is actually fraternal, not identical, but still looks very similar to me, so I usually say we're identical. Also, I think my friend ended up getting into a bit of trouble from her parents for writing "Duck You" on the cake and generally for helping me, although I don't think she really wanted to tell me the extent to which she was. I later let her know I was extra grateful. Finally, this revenge isn't really justified, and I never claimed it was. I know I'm an asshole for it, but dang, it felt good. Now to the comments. Well played, sir. Happy Cake Day and shitmate. What is Cake Day? Very well done, sir, very well done indeed. OP replied, thanks, happy I found this sub. We need more stuff like this. Ah, the old switcheroo without actually switcherooing. Speaking of switcheroo, I'm also really confused what the point of his twin brother was. He left to hang out with them immediately. Who cares/knows what time it was when he took those selfies? Unless he posted them on social media immediately, I don't understand the significance. Did I miss something? Evidence for the netball team. Without the pics, it would have been a he said/she said discussion with the netball girls likely taking GG's side. But with the selfies, he can prove he wasn't there, and besides that, he went to go hang out with them for real later, so he actually got to have fun that night with his mates. That was super calm. But if I were you, I'd be little scared of giving her a cake with "Duck You" candles. Bad reviews or whatever. Anyway. That's the poshest revenge I've ever seen. Cheers. This sounds fucking weird and bullshitty. In particular, like the twin brother was invented. This is painfully fake. She's poor, but actually no, she has a BMW, she's actually rich, but she still hates me because I'm rich because she's poor. The convenient twin willing to get his hairstyle changed, dating multiple girls from the same netball team and being best friends with them all. It's a poorly written revenge fantasy. Come in on, guys. Yep, no business is going to put "Duck You" on a cake because some guy wants revenge on his date. That's not how you run a business. Also, they knew she was being tricked into paying for it? Yeah, right. Really don't buy it. Unfortunately, there's quite a few people buying that complete BS story. I had to scroll down quite a bit until I found your response. Imagine the person he overheard wasn't Gigi but her twin. Dun dun dun. This definitely belongs here. That was a great way to get back at her. Yes. Entertaining, well deserved, and no one got hurt/put in a bad situation. Play which games, win which prizes. This is the best phrase I have heard in a while. I'm new to Reddit. Has over 1 year on Reddit. That's not the only thing that is suspicious. This played out like a shit episode of a Disney Channel show. I'm calling bullshit. No way a restaurant would spell out "Duck You" on a cake no matter how well you know the owners. No place risks a reputation like that, especially if they are high-end like the OP said. So you went on several dates and the subject of having a twin brother never came up? None of the netball girls knew you had a twin brother either? I find that rather difficult to believe. Brother only dated a different team.